Howdy, 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 this is JL for another weekly Shonen Nonsense for this week of April 23rd, 2023. A lot of 23s there. So, this week in Shonen Jump is a basic week. No new series, no big reveals, just the normal stuff. So, let's go. One Piece, chapter 1081. This series continues to be an amazing roller coaster ride of emotions and terrifying as it is. So, Garp comes into the island. He's taking on full lead face first and brings the ship in. Kobe gets there with Hibari, and then she immediately gets frozen by Kuzan, who just shows up, and we get how Kuzan became a Blackbeard pirate. Just kind of out of nowhere. They meet each other. He's drinking his sorrows away, and they start catching up, being friends. Well, really not friends. Apparently, Blackbeard's doesn't really consider his crewmates his friends, which is a little interesting touch. I hope everyone caught there, because they're not friends to him. They're just allies of convenience, much unlike what Luffy sees. So again, difference there. Of course, we also get a little bit of a burn scar who they really are. Like, while some people are considering it being Jaguar D Soul, we're not 100% sure of that right now, especially considering we never heard him being with any black ships. So this is fascinating little bit. And of course, we zoom back and we see, of course, Garp fighting Kuzan and not even trying to hold back. Blue hole indeed. And then we just decide, hey, we're not done with the Blackbeard pirates, but we're not done with Blackbeard specifically. So we just shift back over to Sea Law being destroyed. His ship is gone. Goodbye, Yellow Submarine. And apparently Chopper did something, and Beppo can just become Sulong out of nowhere, saving Law, and only Law. Apparently the rest of the crew may be able to escape, but oh my god, Beppo is just deciding, no, we're getting out of here, we're leaving, which just opens the question of, okay, where are they going to go? Where's Beppo going to go? Is it Egghead? It's got to be Egghead, right? So this is just becoming more and more fascinating. I love One Piece. Kill Blue, Chapter 2. Isn't learning fun? So we're getting more into Kill Blue here. I didn't really get to talk about it much last week. It is very much a Detective Conan style series, but more of like the general base plot of Detective Conan, not the actual meat of it, because we're kind of getting more into being a middle schooler, being a child learning in schools and seeing from a perspective of a 30-year-old man in a child's body that maybe school isn't so easy as that. And of course, he also apparently didn't go to school much anyway, because he learned to be a hitman. We get the character of Shiraishi coming in, helping him out here, getting aces on tests like a good kid. And then the kid himself is really nice, wants to be a doctor because he sees his mother dying, he sees his grandmother getting ill, and wants to see about making sure that people like them can live long lives. A good kid. And then some douchebag comes in, acting like an asshole, telling the kids they should be pursuing their careers because, doctors don't make that much money, and, doctors have to work really hard, and, the declining birth rate of Japan, and yada, 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 to conservative talking points. Either way, he gets bitched out of the restaurant and then goes and proceeds to try to kill kids by kicking them into a river off a bridge to teach them a lesson about generosity. Yeah, this guy's a straw man, isn't he? Whatever. Point is, good old origami, kicks him into the river while using a compass somehow. Alright, again, cool assassins can apparently do anything with any weapon anywhere, because we all saw John Wick and thought it was cool. Again, appreciate the series. It's not really doing too much here. We get the introduction of the next arc where we meet the daughter of the pharmaceutical company that made the spider that bit Peter Parker here and turned him to a child. So we'll figure out how that kind of marks in, what she's going to do, what her personality is like. Are they going to become a gang of detective solving heroes or something? Hopefully we'll see what happens next time. Tenmaku Cinema, Chapter 3. we're getting the crew together. I really like the opening little interaction between Hajime going, okay, Tenmaku, you gotta help me. Gotta make me figure this out. And Tenmaku going, no, you. And he's like, what? Alright, you're the director. Bye! So yeah, of course we continue building this crew together. We're getting all of his friends he got from the first chapter to come in and help him with the movie. They talk about the budgeting, how their time is going to be spent. And of course we find out that Kurai's kind of not telling anybody about it. You know, she's the main actress and is really actually busy. And she's basically deciding, nope, not going to tell anybody about it. We're going to keep this in the down low while mostly doing my normal job. So, hey, this is going to lead to shenanigans, of course. And we get a little bit of last little hints of like who Tenmaku might be, even though Tenmaku doesn't really remember who he was originally, though he did wear a Triple H shirt, so he must be into wrestling. I'm gonna say it, he's actually Vince McMahon revitalized, because Vince McMahon has been dead for about 30 years. I no actual basis for that knowledge. I barely know wrestling, just know certain names. Shang-Chi X, Chapter 13. Well, how's about some mid? Yeah, this is a really boring chapter. I mean, it's basically a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, we fight one Shang-Chi and that's it. And we kind of spend a lot of the time in the beginning and middle just kind of having a blame game, talking about who's responsible for what, and there's this whole big conspiracy, and then the fight happens, which is cool. You know, we have some earth bending, you have some broken arms, and of course one goes down, and then four more appear, because, you know, of course they can't have an easy time. You know, there has to be constant movement and constant action to facilitate this narrative as it is so far. I'm sort of getting flashbacks to the beginning of Kingdom, but like not as well put together, as well as not as well elaborated on, sort of. Kingdom is a tight-knit series. You know, we had three characters kind of sharing screen time together, getting to know each other, and we kind of move forward. Now we have four characters here, and we barely know any of them, outside of like a few alliances and maybe some basic understanding of how they work as a team, and that's it. You know, one guy gets his arm broken. I barely know their names at this point. Hopefully this gets better. Not really holding out too much hope though, as it's sort of reaching that threshold of problem area. I mean, clearly next chapter we're going to have someone come in and save them. I mean, we had the master of off-screen fighting show up. Maybe next chapter he'll come in and go like, oh, I've already beaten all four of them. Now we can get to the village. Fabricant 100, Chapter 19. So apparently Ashabi's title is going to be Ashabi, the self-sacrificer. So his training is completed. This little training arc is done, and he's won with using his blood net. We kind of get an explanation of how his powers work, sort of. They get the principle, but at the same time, it's sort of really dangerous because he just shoots out all his blood and then retracts it. You know, causing him undue amounts of pain in order to just barely hold on while someone else does the actual work. So it's dangerous, scary. Ayako's sort of right by going, yeah, no, this kind of sucks. You're really going to be causing more problems than you're solving. We get a little flashback involving Ashabi's past where his sister self-sacrifices, and he felt terrible about it, because how dare she almost kill herself for somebody else? Because what about his feelings? He'd lose her if she died, you know, not the kid he barely knew. So there's a bit of a mix, like how we understand what self-sacrifice means and what it means to give yourself up for something else. Interesting, but, you know, we quickly cut away to number 1 being revealed. You know, apparently really wanting to find a hamster in a can of tuna. That is some life goals right there. Apparently he's covered in bandages and he's off to meet the Yao boy, so Ashabi's about to get himself an interesting little visitor. And hopefully a lot of sandwiches. A lot of tuna sandwiches. Cypher Academy, Chapter 21. And the poker tournament continues now they're evenly matched? Oh, so a bunch of off-screen stuff happened. Cool. It must be off-screen week. Anyway, apparently Ira has figured out the mystery of leaky poker, as apparently everybody except for the players made the cards up, and each one of them is a rudimentary puzzle, and he apparently figured them all out based off of the eyes of everyone around them. He's just been observing the class and seeing, oh, they are doing this, that must mean my cards are like this, and now I'm winning. Cool. And of course, we're ending with an all-in. Let's see who wins this fight. We get Anonymous Girl leaving her mask and revealing that she has a pretty normal face. No real, like, am I supposed to get any meaning out of this? Cool, her face is cute, like every other girl's in the series. Great. Not really bending any minds here. No, like, horror. Oh no, she's actually, the Green Goblin. Nothing that intense, just a normal character. And, she's still a bitch. Cool, whatever. And of course, we're getting another one of these. This happened before with the murder mystery plot, where we get a reveal of the next arc, which is apparently going to be the Cyberbrain World War arc. Cool. So we're going to be fighting a war for a Cyberbrain. Is this going to be another really dumb puzzle thing? Because I feel like this is just going to be a really dumb puzzle thing. So, yeah, it's Cyber Academy. Or Cyber Academy. I wish. Cypher Academy. The Ichinose Family's Deadly Sins. Chapter 22. Man, this one hurts. So, yeah, we get more into the whole Alzheimer's plot, where apparently Grandma made the loop happen by pushing Tsubasa off the cliff, and we think that she has Alzheimer's, because Grandpa knows what Alzheimer's is. Then Grandpa starts repeating himself. A lot. Turns out apparently he has Alzheimer's, and Grandma, I think, might be sort of reliving Grandpa through the loop, through the dream world, and forcing Tsubasa not to wake up, because it's constantly helping him live his best life and remember things in more detail as he keeps joining the loop, as he keeps going into the dream. At least that's my theory so far, but based off of what's happening here. And it's really tragic. These tears are earned. This kid is going through trauma. This kid is going through a whole lot of hard nonsense. And it's hitting a little too close to home. So, oh man, it's really, really kind of sad. Akane Banashi, Chapter 59. And a hard decision has to be made. And no, she just chooses her dad's story immediately. What are we talking about here? So of course, Akane chooses her dad's story, Changing Time, because she wants to win. She's not really here to try to challenge herself. She's already challenged herself enough. It's time to try to achieve a victory in order to reach her goals. And that is some good character development. We see Mike actually acting a lot like her dad when he performs Changing Time, which is a really fun little story about a drunken husband and his doting wife doing things. So, of course, we get him also spitting bars about how you kind of have to make your own decisions in life. You have to make your own victories, not just rely on others for this. So clearly, pushing her towards making the story her own. And of course, we get a little bit more Nin here. More Nin. Not Nen, but Nin. Or is it Nen, not Nin, not Nin? No, I'm just going to stop myself now. Point is, we get, more information about Mike as well, learning that he's actually known his Akane's family for quite a while, treating both her father as his mentor, but also her mother as his older sister. So cool little backstory here. We're learning a little bit more about Akane's backstory alongside the new characters that are introduced here, or really reintroduced here, because the mother's not really been in the series for a while, has she? Didn't really know she was a hairdresser either. It might have been covered before, but I just don't remember. Just been too much Rakugo. Blue Box, Chapter 98. So apparently that hug did critical damage. So Taiki is still not over that Christmas hug. It's almost New Year's, and he's still not over that Christmas hug. And apparently he wants to be Christmas forever, because while they're trying to clean up, they're doing their deep clean here, he's like, could we keep the tree up for, all year round? What are you, 5, dude? You're in high school now. Stop that. Anyway, we kind of get little, bits and pieces of some stories here. We clearly have Chinatsu's kind of looking at Taiki going, "You okay, dude? Like, did I upset you with this?" And he's like, "Oh God, no, I fucked up." And of course, he doesn't get to say anything because he's in a rom-com, and of course he can't say anything in the moment. And of course, we get little bits of Hina apparently, hopefully getting over it. Hopefully, she seems to be like eyeballing him towards the end of the chapter, but we don't quite know. She seems to have gone off with their mutual friend here. And of course, we end with apparently Chinatsu leaving again to meet her parents. Again. She might be moving home. And not coming back. Oh no, their life together is going to be back to where it was before, where he's just distant and she doesn't live with him. I mean, that never really became a plot point past like the first few arcs. After this, like, we're really revisiting this. I mean, they could just be friends. They don't have to live together to, supply this romance. It's not like it's the other series we could be watching about right now, or talking about right now. Oops, slip of the tongue there. Witch Watch, Chapter 106. Now, apparently, so there's a romance gate. Also, I'm going to call shenanigans. Apparently, they've been monitoring Morihito for a week. A week? When does October start? Anyway, getting past that, this is all about trying to break the friendship curse on Morihito. For the sake of Kan, Keigo, and Miharu, and also, of course, Nico. So, the three boys try to gamify this and, get good old Moi to fall in love. Keigo through, basic beauty standards, Kan through a failed amount of gestures, and then, of course, Miharu brings in clothes and cosplay, which does amazingly well, but then, Mom comes in for the clutch with a smock. A really well-made smock. And it apparently is Moi bait. Unfortunately, Nico bulmas it, tries to lift his skirt, and unfortunately, it all shuts down. So, what will happen next time? Probably something completely different. This series doesn't tend to be too formulaic some of the time. Sakamoto Days, Chapter 116. And not gonna lie, this chapter is actually sort of mid. Not really great, not really bad either, just sort of middle in the road, which is not bad in my book. Either way, it's apparently Sakamoto versus Good Deed Boy, or whatever his name is, doesn't matter. We then cut over to Poison Man, who's fighting the rest of the group, who apparently has a really weird poison, which affects only some people doing certain things, probably about physical activity, not 100%. We're probably going to get like the actual bit of that next chapter. Anyway, apparently as soon as Sakamoto realizes, oh, I need to hurry back to the other Kais, then he gets serious mode and just trounces this Good Deed dude by apparently fishing a car out of the road and tossing it onto the dude. Okay, I did say this is middle of the road earlier. I'm still sticking with it, but that is mostly because this kind of thing elevates a boring chapter into something amazing. Or at least, decent. Sakamoto Days. Ayakashi Triangle, Chapter 127. Last time, Hot Male Matsuri was hitting on Suzu. This week, Hot Male Matsuri was hitting on Suzu. See? Absolutely no change. That's how you not do off-screen paneling. Anyway, point being, so, of course, female Matsuri comes in for the save, or I think we should call her real Matsuri as opposed to fake Matsuri. So, we then get Shadow May kind of going, oh dear, oh, what am I going to do? I mean, I don't like this because I, could lose Suzu, and that's my power base, but I don't want to seem to be helping the heroes. So she then goes and consults Matsuri, because apparently how to do with Matsuri is with Matsuri. She goes to Matsuri, naked, in the bath, to solicit her to become her servant. We had to be naked for this. Why? I mean, I know the series. It's obvious why, but why though? Undead Unluck, Chapter 156. It's docking time! Alright, so we're in space, and last chapter we had Gina and Sean revealing themselves. And now in this chapter, Gina and Sean are in trouble. Of course, Gina is told to get to work because, of course, her powers are important, and Sean is told to stay on the ship because his powers kind of suck in the situation. Though he does help out in the end, finding the invisible thing while not really making it invisible himself. But regardless, a lot of good shenanigans happen with, Space Junk coming in and Creed taking care of it. And of course, we end with the docking, which apparently is being helped by some mysterious hacking thing, and Phil revealing himself in the vacuum of space, not wearing a spacesuit, asking us to save his mother. The plot thickens. Good stuff. Can't really say complain too much about it. There really isn't a lot to talk about this chapter, but still pretty good. And of course, Gina, being a lovable little sister to good old Fuko. My Hero Academia, Chapter 386. It's official, shit is hitting the fan. AFO is about to reach Shigaraki, meanwhile Dabi is turning himself into a bomb that's about to kill his own family. As you do. Tsukauchi is sitting there in the main base shitting his pants. Meanwhile, Ida and Todoroki are having a heart-to-heart. Todoroki trying to say it's his responsibility, but he doesn't know if he can really measure up. Meanwhile, Ida's kind of going, yeah, no, we kind of shit together. I really don't know how to feel about this. But All For Might comes in clutch. Telling the boys, you can go take care of Dabi. I'll take care of AFO. And thus revealing that he is on the battlefield. All Might versus All For One. But of course, All Might has no powers, but he does have an Iron Man suit. Iron Might. It's so ridiculous. I mean, they really wanted that reveal to be amazing, and it is. It's phenomenal, but it is very weird. I thought he was about to die in the next panel just to get immediately obliterated, but no. He's gearing up for the fight, which is going to be an interesting round 3, technically round 2, considering we saw one round, but we never saw the first one, that got him the injury. So, AFO versus All Might, round 3-ish. And that's going to do it for this week. And it's got a lot of chapters this week. It's going to have to tie this all over, because next week is Golden Week, meaning there's no new chapters for a while, or at least not until the 7th. So, better get your fill of the manga now, while you got the chance. Or, could just go outside, touch some grass. Don't be an ass. Anyway, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Something. Bye!